Good morning and welcome to SUNUP. I'm Dave Deacon and we're coming to you from a cotton field here in southwest Oklahoma. And Randy, this year has been a year of cotton.
It really has, Dave. It's great to kind of be back in the saddle again after, you know, a pretty rough previous 4 years. There's no doubt that the crop that we have this year, even though we ended up being a little bit late in terms of planting, the reason why we were late was because we were getting some great rainfall and some good runoff that filled up the lakes in the area. We actually had enough runoff into Lake Lugert basically to fill it up. We ran some over the spillway and they were able to charge the irrigation canals so guys could work on their irrigation systems and make sure those were going to be functional before the real irrigation run began. But a little bit late, but we actually had a great September. We always look to September as being very important for our cotton, and there's no doubt that we were about 35% above normal in terms of cotton heat unit accumulation, which is really good for the maturity of our crop. October has been very warm also, and so with the combination 1-2 punch of September, October, we've got a very, very good situation here. Of course, the flip side of that is it's been fairly hot. That's where our cotton heat units come from, and unfortunately for a lot of folks it's been pretty dry too, so there's been a lot of stress for folks that are trying to get the winter crops planted. But on the cotton side of things, we feel like we're going to have a pretty good crop this year. I think the October USDA NASS crop report had us at about 200 or so thousand acres planted, somewhere around 200,000, and about 195,000 harvested, and they're projecting about 285,000 bales to be produced off that. I really hope that we can make that. There's no doubt that even though we had a late start, we had a great finish. I don't think that our irrigated will be, I don't think we'll have a lot of what I'd call home run type yields on the irrigated. I think we'll have some really good solid yields with that. And unfortunately, I think our dryland crop took quite a bit of stress in late August and early September. Well, actually pretty much the entire month of September from the dryland perspective in many areas. And so we're going to kind of struggle with some of our dry land, and hopefully we'll have average yields.
I know it's still kind of early into the harvest, but a lot of guys are hoping for 3-bale cotton. Do you think we're going to get it?
I think we'll see some 3-bale and maybe some better than 3-bale cotton out there in a lot of fields. I just don't know how common it's going to be, but it's very early in the harvest right now. Right. We've had some dryland fields come out. There's probably been some dryland fields that's been ginned. We are seeing some irrigated fields. There's a lot of round modules sitting in the fields here now that we can see that will eventually be ginned, hopefully, you know, fairly quickly. And we'll know a little bit more about what's going to transpire with both the yield of the crop and the turnout by the time we get through the ginning process. And ultimately, what we're really interested in too is our fiber quality. Right. And of course, as we were visiting earlier, there's really 2 reasons why in this tough global cotton market we're selling American cotton. And one of those reasons is fiber quality. We're very competitive. We've probably got some of the best upland quality varieties that we've ever had, perhaps in the history of the business. It never ceases to amaze me what we're seeing come out of some of the new upland type cottons. And so that's always really good, and it's really helping us to keep our cotton competitive in that global market. The other issue that we have, or I should say perhaps that we don't have, is contamination. The American cotton growers typically produce some of the most contaminant-free cotton on the planet. And the international bills recognize that, and of course it's incumbent upon us as folks that work in this industry to continue that tradition of as we want to grow a crop and get it harvested and ginned as contaminant-free as possible. And I think that that's a real big plus for us in the market. And again, both the quality and the contamination situation is a real benefit to our industry.
What does it mean to you as you grew up in this area, Tillman County, so what does it mean to you to see cotton in the field again?
Well, I tell you what, it's a great feeling, and you know, this is kind of how it's supposed to be.
Right.
We're supposed to have a crop, and even though historically there may be issues with individual hail events or whatever, where we come in and we see some crops that get impacted, the last several years have been pretty tough on a lot of folks, and we just really haven't had an opportunity to do what we do best, and that's to grow a crop and to harvest it and to deliver this crop into the market. And that's what a lot of guys have really been missing, no doubt.
Okay, thank you much, Randy. We'll catch up with you here in a couple weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Randy Boman, Cotton Extension Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.